Hello guys and welcome to Showtime TV. Nyeri, my name is Wachera Gikonyo. This is my health is and we talk about matters concerning physical health, and I will be your doctor for today. Remember that this video is not a professional video, it's about research. It's supposed to help you in various walks of life in your health. So today our topic is going to be safe and fertile days. Now we get lots of questions from people asking, okay, if I want to conceive a baby, which days should I watch out for? If I don't want to conceive a baby, which days should I watch out for? So this is for every woman out there who is planning to have a baby or who is not planning to have a baby and they are not on any contraception. So let us first of all understand what safe days are. Now, safe days are those days during your menstrual cycle that you are most probably not able to conceive, or you cannot conceive. The fertile days are, or the unsafe days are those days which you are more likely to conceive. So now, because you know what safe days are and the fertile days are, we are still going to look at the calendar. If you have a regular period, when I say that you have a regular menstrual cycle or regular periods, it means that your cycle is 28 days, between 21 to 25 or 28 days. So in this case, that person can be able to count their fertile and safe days. If you have irregular periods, when I say irregular menstrual cycle or irregular periods, it means that your menstrual cycle is not really constant. One time you get it after 2 months, the other time you get it after 2 weeks. So it means that your cycle is not that consistent. So today we are going to understand the safe days, but before we understand that, let us first of all understand the female reproductive system. I've drawn a sketch here. I don't know if it can be zoomed in. If you look at the structure of a female reproductive system, it looks like that of a woman. So when a baby girl is born, she is born with many immature eggs, inactive eggs, which are right here. Yeah, in the ovaries. A woman has 2 ovaries, so each of them has hundreds and thousands of immature eggs which mature during adolescence. Now, the adolescence for a girl is not really measured. Sometimes some girls would start their adolescence as early as 9 years old. Some would start late at around maybe 14 or 15. So if you're a girl out there, with your mother out there, with your parents out there, and your girl has not reached puberty or has not started receiving her menstrual cycle, just know that it is different with any girl. So mostly when puberty comes in for a girl, it normally comes 2 years after the breasts grow. So after 2 years, maybe when a girl starts maturing, experiencing these changes that happen in a girl, especially the breast, they will occur 2 years. But understand that it is different in both. So when a girl is born, then the puberty comes in. Now let us start, that is when now we start experiencing the menstrual period. So let us understand the menstrual period in details. Now, there are 2 glands in your brain, the hypothalamus and the pituitary glands, which are responsible for the menstrual cycle for a baby girl. So not a baby girl, a girl. This is a girl who has already reached puberty, and her body is prepared enough to start receiving her periods. So every month, the pituitary gland releases a hormone called the FSH. The FSH that in turn triggers the release of the estrogen hormone. I know this is something that you have learned in high school, especially those people who are above grade 6 and above probably have learned about the reproductive system. So we have the pituitary gland in the brain releases the FSH that triggers the release of the estrogen hormone. Now the estrogen hormone starts being released. So as we are going to look at the calendar between day 1 to day 14. Day 14 is when the ovulation comes in. We are going to explain what ovulation really is. So, as the estrogen is released from day one of every month, it prepares the womb, the lining of the womb to thicken. The lining of the womb is called the endometrium. So every month when the estrogen is released, now the womb starts being prepared. It starts thickening up to prepare for pregnancy. So every day, every time, every day, as long as you have estrogen being released in your body, your womb is being prepared for pregnancy. Now, as we approach day 14, the estrogen hormones become higher and higher and higher, and that also triggers the release of one mature egg, which travels to the fallopian tube. This is the fallopian tube. The fallopian tube where fertilization takes place. So as we approach day 14 of ovulation, so this is now what you call ovulation. Ovulation is the release of a mature egg to the fallopian tube, which now goes there and awaits fertilization. Now, with the help of the follicles in the fallopian tube, it is pushed and pushed and pushed until it stays here in the fallopian tube. Now, what happens now? This is a really the best time to conceive, because even there's a release of the testosterone hormone, which also triggers the sex drive. That's why you find most women who are in their ovulation, they have a high sex drive. You know, you start watching out for discharge, which looks like mucus, because that mucus will help the sperm swim all the way to the egg where it awaits here. This is now day 14. But remember, we're going to look at different cycles. Sometimes the ovulation can occur on the 16th day, on the 15th day. That's why you'll find different days put for safe days, which you're going to come there and you're going to look at those safe days that you should watch out for. So now, if fertilization takes place, now the sperm will swim all the way, and it is they are going to come and they are going to one sperm. Remember that during ejaculation, during coitus, so many millions and millions of eggs are released, but only very few make it to the fallopian tube, because the journey here is very rough. So when the sperm come here, they will fertilize, and then that's when now we have the zygote moving, the embryo moving all the way to the uterus, and that's when the baby starts forming. But that's for another day. But now, when there is no fertilization, the estrogen hormone becomes less. And that is when now, because that is after the estrogen becomes less, there is the production of the progesterone hormone, which I forgot to mention that when it is released, these are the two hormones that are responsible for menstruation and conception. So progesterone is also released. If conception has happened, it triggers it sends signals to the uterus not to shed off the lining, to maintain the lining of the uterus, so that when the baby comes in, he or the baby is able to be held. But now, if fertilization does not take place, the progesterone levels go down, and also the estrogen levels go down. And now, because the egg is here, it only lasts here for 24 hours. So after 24 hours, that's when it disintegrates, and now the shedding of the uterus now comes in. All this lining that was there now starts shedding between the 14th day to up to the time you're going to get your period, probably on the 28th day. Remember, we are looking at a person who has a menstrual period of a menstrual cycle of 28 days. So between day 14, after the egg has disintegrated and the progesterone has gone down, now that's when the uterus starts now shedding that lining, and that is when now it comes out as menstruation. Remember that menstruation, they say that it is the only blood that is not born out of the violence, and it is considered the most disgusting. So it is good that we understand it. So that is it. So let us understand now the safe days. Now, because we have understood, I can see Simon the spectacular is looking at me is looking at me in a weird way, but that is the truth. Now, because you have understood a little bit about menstrual cycle, let us now look at the safe days. If you want to get a baby, if you don't want to get a baby, and it is good that you know that if you are using the safe days as a method of contraception, it is not 100%. It is actually Well, it has some risks which we are going to talk about. You could get pregnant because sometimes you cannot predict when the ovulation could take place. Sometimes we have hormonal imbalance that change our cycle. Sometimes we do have other factors such as stress, dieting that could change the day on your calendar for your ovulation. So I will encourage anybody who is going to use this method of safe days as your method of contraception, please make sure that you have also used other methods of contraception. We have the IDU coil, we have the 3 months injection, we have the pills. You can visit the doctor for more information. You check the one that is suitable for you. If you are if the hormonal ones do not work for you, go for the non-hormonal ones, but you can speak with your gynecologist who is going to help you to get the best contraception for your body, contraceptive for your body. So now we're looking at a cycle of a woman who has 28 days. 28 days, that is a normal cycle. So when I count 28 days, I mean from the very first day you receive your period up to the last day. That is how we count our cycle. So I'm looking at 28 days, so day 1 up to 28. That is how we count our cycle. So if you have 28 days, it is from the very first day you receive your period. That's when you start counting these days I am going to talk about right now. So between day 1, we've said that ovulation, the release of that mature egg, only happens at around 14th. We will extend up to the 15th, up to the 19th day. That's why you normally find that somebody will say, oh, I had put the 14th day and I conceived, because sometimes you might find that some factors may change your ovulation, or sometimes the ovulation could be delayed. So we are going to give an allowance of around 4 days for your safe days. But let us understand. So we are on day 1 up to 28. That is your full menstrual cycle. So now we are on day 14. We are going to work with day 14 because that is the most likely day that you're going to have your ovulation. So you are counting from day 1 up to day 14. This is the day, the first day you've had your period. One thing you need to understand about sperms is that they can survive in the female body for up to 5 days. Okay, sperms survive up to 5 days. So take, for example, you have sexual intercourse. Okay, there are people who will have sex even during their period. Well, that is a couple's decision. I don't know about that, but whatever you do, whatever you decide to do, if you decide to have sex on the first day of your period, just ensure that you have considered, you know, hygiene and everything. That is if you are comfortable with it. So, for example, if you have sex on the very first day of your period, up to probably the 8th day. That time, if you give your allowance, so you have day 8 up to day 14, you have 6 days. So we said that sperms will survive in your body for 5 days. So in this case, your sperm the sperms in your body will have already died. By the time they finish their 5 days, because it will be day 1 up to day 8. So day 1 up to, from the very first day of your period up to the 8th day, those days are considered as safe days. Are considered as safe days. The very first day you have your period up to the 8th day. Now, the unsafe days now start coming in probably from the 9th day. Let us look at day 9. Let's say from day 1 up to day 9. So, from 9 to 14, how many days are those? Spectacular. 9 to 14. There are 5 days, and I've said that sperms will survive for 5 days. So, take for example, you have unprotected sex on day 9th. And then you don't take any emergency pill, or you don't have any contraceptive, you don't have anything to prevent pregnancy. So that 14th day, the mature egg is going to be released, and it is going to come and meet the sperm in the fallopian tube awaiting it. So it will come straight into fertilization, and you're most likely going to conceive. You're most likely going to conceive. So between day 9 to day 14th, it is very unsafe for you to have unprotected sex, because the egg can be released anytime between that day and the 14th day. So between day 1 to day 8, safe days. Between day 9 to day 14th, Yeah, let us extend up to day 19th, because I have said that some factors could make maybe the ovulation maybe push forward. Okay, I've said factors such as stress. Sometimes it could be stress, the dieting, the emergency contraception, also the pills that people take after you have unprotected sex and you don't want to get pregnant. There's a pill you can swallow to prevent the pregnancy that also can delay the process of ovulation, and the process of your the period can delay your period for 1 week. And if your period is delayed for 1 week, it means that the whole calendar is altered. So you look out for those factors. So we are going to extend up to day 19th. So now you can imagine now, if you have sex on the day of ovulation, that is the most fertile day that you can conceive. That time, remember that the egg will only last for 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours. We are extending for those ones who probably could have their calendars altered. So take for example the one with day 14. So after you have sex, that's when you're going to watch out for your discharge is going to change. It's going to become mucus. You are going to have a lot of sex drive. Some women will get cranky. Some women will be very jumpy, because God created that day for conception. And they normally say that during this day, it is most probably that you're going to conceive a boy. Now, how it is understood biologically is because the boy carries the Y chromosome. The Y chromosome is not strong, but it's very fast. So it can swim very fast during that time. So they say that during ovulation time, that day of ovulation, most likely you will conceive a boy. Most likely, I've used most likely, but that's something that you need to do research on. Okay, so now after 24 hours, now the conditions in the female reproductive system now start becoming now harsh. They start becoming harsh because now the egg has already now disintegrated. Now let us look from day 20, from day 20th. Yeah? From day 20th now, there is no egg in the fallopian tube. There's no egg waiting for fertilization. So between day 20 up to the day you get your period, day 20 up to the time you get your periods. Let me write this properly. So you say day 19, so we are looking at day 20th up to the day you get your period. Those days are considered safe. So the days you're supposed to watch out for, let me just give a summary, and this is for somebody who has a regular cycle. So we are looking at day 1 to day 19. These ones are day 1 up to day 8. Those are safe days. Safe days, okay? Because the egg has not been released and the sperm has already died if you had sex during the first day. But even if for example you have sex on the fifth day, you have to count 5 days before the actual ovulation. And in this case, you have to be sure that the ovulation is constant. So from day 9 to day 19th, we are giving an allowance of a few days for those who have a change in their ovulation. Those are unsafe days. Those ones you can conceive. So from day 20th to day 28, those ones are considered as safe days. And I have said again, this is not the best method for contraception, because as I've said, sometimes the ovulation could be triggered a bit and it could change. And of course, you also have sometimes the man can mess up. Yeah, there are some people will say that maybe they will use the withdrawal methods and all that, but don't forget that the sperm also, there's the precum, there's that fluid that comes out of a man's penis that has sperm. So you could actually conceive depending on the day you are on. For example, you have unprotected sex during ovulation time, you could actually conceive. Just one single drop is enough to get you pregnant during ovulation, because the conditions are very, very conducive for one to to conceive. Now maybe now, because you have understood the safe days, you could use this as a method of contraception, but it's not 100%. But there are other methods of contraception that you could use if you want to. But if you consider this as your method of contraception, it's good that you make sure that you have downloaded a calendar. Like you can use Flow. Flow is a good app that you can use to track your periods. Just make sure that you have updated it once in a while in case there are changes. Okay, so maybe you can maybe talk about during your period, you've already had your period, so after the ovulation and the endometrium has already shed off. Some people will ask, oh my goodness, oh my girlfriend sometimes has mood swings. So you can imagine all that process happening. There's a production of progesterone, estrogen. So you're going to have a woman having mood swings, irritability, because of the changes in hormonal imbalance. One time you have progesterone is too high, then it goes down. Remember, hormones control the activities of the body. Sometimes you have the estrogen is too high, then it goes down. So this one can trigger a little bit of mood swings. You can have a little bit of food cravings during your period. You can have bloating. You can have headache, you can also have sore breast, and also you can have cramps. So I hope that video has really helped you to understand your safe days. And I think unless if you have questions that you'd like to ask me, I wish that you ask me on those who are watching us live. Make sure that you have commented below. Talk about any topic you'd like to talk about, and I hope this video is good. I will see you after this short break, and you're going to talk about a little bit more about the female reproductive system. Okay, welcome back to the second segment of my show. I'm already done explaining safe and fertile days. Now we are going to go straight to your comments. Those who are watching us live, please make sure that you comment on Facebook and on YouTube. Ask me questions. I'll answer those that I can. And for those medics who are watching us, please make sure that you also help me out. Remember that I've said that this video is about research. I've done research for you, and I can give you the little that I have learned. But if you want to get more information, kindly consult your gynecologist on your reproductive system. And well, Let me read Moturi Ed, before I even continue. Moturi Ed always has a show on Saturday night live here, Showtime live here, so you catch him every Saturday. Na naona ameuliza swali lingine hapo. Sasa daktari, poa sana. And then Faith Moita, thank you so much. Also catch her on Friday on Mogithi. Moturi Ed is asking one question, and he's asking, do men have safe days? Now, no, men don't have safe days. Any day, anytime, you can make a girl pregnant. Any day, anytime. Even a 70-year-old man can make a girl pregnant. So you don't have safe days. So it's only for the women who have safe days, because that's when it's their egg that is normally released, and it's their egg that is normally fertilized. So I hope they have helped you. So Moturi Ed, tafadhali kwenye huko, please watch out. All right, so we have David Mogo, the CEO of Showtime Cinema. Thank you so much for joining us. Great insights there. We have our director here called Rubua Moses saying, watching from Nyeri Town. Those people who have questions, please make sure that you have commented below and ask as many questions as possible. The medics in the house to saidieni hapa manze, so that you understand a reproductive system. Now, for some people will ask, what about those women who are not able to conceive? Now, this is something that you should consult your doctor. You should start following up. It could be the woman who has a problem. Probably her eggs have not matured, or probably she was not born. She was born with not enough eggs. There's so many factors that could lead. Also, fibroids can also lead to infertility. So if you're out there and you're trying to conceive and you have not yet conceived, you can check out for this these days between the 9th and the 19th day. You can try conceiving during that time. Those are the best days for you to conceive. But if you find that you are not able to conceive, it is good that you consult your gynecologist. Now, you need to understand, as a society, it is not always about women. Most people, especially in Africa, they'll think that if a woman does not conceive, it is always their problem. We sometimes have men who have problems with getting a woman pregnant. Probably the sperm has not matured enough. It cannot swim enough. Probably the sperm is not strong enough to swim. Those ones, the ones that you normally they normally call them blank shots. So you could be having that problem. So it's good that if you're a couple and you're trying to conceive, it is good that you both get checked by the gynecologist to check who has the problem, and then you can start treatment as soon as possible. There are various treatments that are normally given. You can maybe seek for a surrogate mother, where you get a woman who is healthy enough, and fertilization is done in the lab, and then the implantation is implantation of the baby is done in another woman who can carry your baby. It's still, you have heard of surrogate mothers. You can also have that fertilization that is normally done in the lab, and then it is now given to the woman to carry the baby. So so there are those kind of treatments. So also medications that are normally given to people who have these problems. Probably they are going to recommend you some medicine that is going to help your sperm stronger, or such kind. But one thing you need to know is that stuff like Viagra, it does not help infertility. That one is just going to even make matters worse. So let us eat healthy so that we are able to have a safe conception. And also another thing that we also get as questions is about the sex of the baby. In some African setups, or in some communities, they believe that the woman is the one who is responsible for the sex of the baby, and it is not the woman who is responsible for the sex of the baby, it is the man. So if you have your woman and she's getting boys all the time, it is the man who determines the sex of the baby. It has never been the woman. So let us not have these misconceptions in our culture that could probably lead to conflicts in our homestead. So I think that's it. Let me check on YouTube if we have more questions. Please make sure that you have commented, you have watched this show, every single Tuesday, my health is my wealth. We shall be having doctors coming in. And well, I have been your doctor today, but let me check first of all before I wind up the show. If there are any questions on Facebook, if you have any questions on YouTube, please post them there. And if you have any answers to those certain questions, kindly feel free to help us understand more about our reproductive system. Otherwise, there are no questions. There are no questions on YouTube. I see that most of you are well informed, but you can also comment later. So that has been my time with me, Wachera Gikonyo. Make sure that you have watched Showtime TV every day for various shows. From Monday till Sunday, we have so many shows. Subscribe, share to as many people as possible. I have been your host, Wachera Gikonyo. Stay safe and keep it locked on Showtime TV. I will see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.